All right. So before we start anything, go ahead and open up your previous project, that little house project that we were working on. And before you do anything, save it. Let's just go to File, Save As, Project, and let's call this Exercise 7. Because what we do from here on out is going to make pretty big changes to the file. And so if you ever need to come back to your previous assignment, it's not going to happen very easily if you don't save a spot right now. So go ahead and rename it, and then we can get going on setting up our phases. So this is my house up to this point, and we've got all these sheets that we've created. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a new scenario. We're going to say, so before, up to this point, we've basically been creating a set of drawings so that we could give this to a contractor and they could build this house from scratch, right? We just had an empty lot and we're building this house. Now we're going to fast forward in time and we're going to say, okay, we send out those drawings. The contractor built the whole house. It's now sitting in a nice little forested area, and it's someone's, cabin that they use in the summer to go up into the mountains. And their family has grown, and now they need it to be expanded on. So the house that we designed years ago is now they've come back to us. We did such a good job at designing it that they want us to design the remodel. And so we're going to take the current cabin and pretend it's built. And so the new set of drawings that we're going to create in this module, the point of the new drawings is to describe now a new renovation that we're basically an add-on to this house. And so we're going to create documents for adding on to the house, which is why I told you to save it, because we're going to kind of ruin our old drawings that we've spent all this time creating up till now. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to create the phases. So in Revit, in order to create the phases, you go up to the Manage tab. And there's a little portion on that tab that says Phases. You're going to click it. And by default, Revit has already made the phases that we need. So all Revit files, typically when you open them, they already have an existing phase and a new construction phase, which is all we need. But that doesn't help you learn how to create phases. So what I'm going to do is I just want you to know that this dialog box is here, and I want you to create another phase. And we're going to call it Addition. So if you look over here, let's highlight this row, and we're going to insert a phase after new construction. And you can see by default it's phase 1, and if you click in there, you can call it whatever you want. So we'll call it Addition. And that's literally all you have to do to create a new phase. You can also rename the old one. And technically this should be called Existing. Whoops. Oh, I accidentally escaped out of there. I get a little trigger happy with the escape button. Okay, so that undid everything we just did because I hit escape without hitting OK. So the other thing we can do is we technically right now, everything we built, you didn't realize this, but when we were modeling through all these other modules, by default, you've been modeling on the new construction phase. And this module will teach you how to know where you're modeling and how to change things if you model them in the wrong phase. But up till now, the default way of modeling is on the new construction. So all of our objects that we see in 3D, everything we've done up to this point is in this new construction phase. But the problem is with our addition, we'd now like to change the new construction phase to the existing phase. So let's maybe do that. I know that everything's on the new construction phase, and I know that nothing's on the existing phase because we never modeled anything in the existing phase. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to highlight this and see if I could, oh, I want to delete it, but you'll notice there's no delete button when you're looking at phases. All there is a insert one before or after. The only option we have is to combine. So you can't delete it, but you could combine it with another phase. So that's what we're going to do. And this is why I had you save, is because this is going to permanently change your file. So I'm going to hit the new construction. That is where all of our model is. That's the phase our model is on right now. And we're going to merge it, or we're going to combine it with the existing phase. So we're going to combine with previous. So you'll click that. And now it put everything that was on new construction, it pushed it into the existing phase. So now if I click OK, all of this model is actually in the existing phase. And the best way to tell is by clicking on an object. And if you look over here in its properties, you'll see a phasing section, which we haven't talked about till now, and we've been ignoring. It now says under phase created, it shows that it was created in the existing phase. If I hit undo, let's undo all of that. Now if I click on the wall, you can see it's new construction. If I look over here at phase created, it says new construction. And that's how I would change. If I wanted to change this one object from a phase, you just go over to its phase in its properties menu, and you can pick any phase that's been created already. So I'm just going to go back to phases, merge that phase back again. So now we just have an existing phase. Now we can insert a new phase after existing, and this we can call addition. Or you can call it new construction. You can rename it the same as it was before, but because we're adding a new phase, there's now nothing is on that phase yet. So we're going to have existing and addition, and click OK. So now when I look in here, I can see that the phase that this wall was created, in fact, I should be able to mass select everything except these. And really the only thing, if I look at the shared properties between all of these elements, the only thing that really shows up is the phasing, and you can see it's all created on existing, and none of it has been demolished. And that'll become important later on. Okay, so I know this may not be making a whole lot of sense yet, but all you've done is taken your model and you've rephased it. You've put it into a new phase, which is existing. It's kind of confusing. The new phase that you put the model elements on is the existing phase. So basically you're telling Revit that all of this model geometry already exists in real life. And then from here on out, when we model, we'll model on the addition phase that we created. So if you look at the phases, we're going to switch over and start modeling in the addition phase. So how do you know what phase you're modeling on? That would be the next question to pay attention to. You would just click in your view, and then you would look at the view properties. And if you go under phasing, it tells you what phase your view is set to, and it's set to existing. So that when you create a new object, it's automatically going to place it on the existing phase. So watch. If I go up here and I hit wall and draw a wall, and then I click on it, you can see by default, it put it in the existing phase. Now watch this. I'll unselect everything and I'll go into the view properties, and I'll change the phase from existing to addition. You'll see it grays it. All of the existing stuff gets grayed out to let me know that already exists. So now I want to draw a new wall. I do the wall command, and you see how it's not grayed out? And if I click on it and look over here, under phase created, it says addition. So that lets me know it put it on the addition phase. I'm just going to undo that wall. I'm going to switch my view phase back to existing. So now it looks like that. And that's where we'll leave this video for now. If you'd like to experiment a little bit, you can, but I will add on to these concepts in the next video.